Most definitely. Oh boy. Trying to get comfortable here. Let's see who is out here in YouTube. I know I didn't give you guys any warning, and this is being posted without any rhyme or reason, but I'll give some people a few moments to try to get on, and then I'll just go ahead and shoot with what's going on. This won't be a terribly long video, but just to kind of explain what's going to be happening, and I'm having a hard time focusing on what I need to focus on like this. So this is weird. I got one person on. I can't see who you are, but thank you for tuning in and paying attention. Um, as the title says, 100 videos in 100 days, or else. I shave off all this hair on my face. It's really silly, but it's kind of a fun way to kind of hold myself accountable for producing more content and engaging with you guys a little bit more. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to get as much, not just filler content, but just as I'm doing this, trying to evolve my content as well. So lately, I've been shooting really short videos just to kind of get some stuff out there. At the same time, what I want to work towards is making more longer, better produced videos. So that's the end goal. So hopefully, at the end of this 100 days, we'll see like a transformation in the video quality. Of course, I'm always open to hear what you guys would like for me to talk on, discuss, um, in order to make this channel better and to help it to grow. Yeah, let me know what it is I can do to make that better. If you can, right now, you can slap a like onto this video. Every little bit counts. Every little bit helps out. Um, as far as like being able for us to be able to reach a larger audience. You guys know how it works with YouTube. So yeah, please slap a like. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that you can know when I post new videos. It's 2020, and there's some really good things that's happening for HAMA and happening for my group here in Austin, Texas, and yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. Going to be doing some traveling, teaching some workshops, getting out, getting HAMA spread out around the world. Um, Sorry, got some interference going on here. So yeah, some great things happening. I'll be just to kind of give you guys a little bit of an update. I'll be traveling to Canada in the summer to do some workshops out there with Audacia. It's a group that's run by Kimberly Roseblade. So I can't wait to go to Canada for the first time and get to work with you guys out there. Some of the people I've trained with and seen at other HEMA events, but um, yeah, looking forward to that. Okay, I got Mujin. Is it Mujin or Mugin? Mujin Black. Peace, brother. How's it going? Thank you for tuning in. Um, so yeah. So Canada's gonna be going on in the summer. I'll be traveling to Kansas City to do some workshops, possibly some things in Pennsylvania. Something else I'm forgetting right now, but these are the things that are kind of fresh in my mind. Um, yeah. So if you guys have a group and if you're ever interested in having me come out, like contact me. We can work something out. Figure out how I can get down there to work with you guys. Um, what else? Yeah. So my challenges. So again, not only am I doing this 100-day challenge for just like producing videos, but I'm also doing a 100-day challenge, just kind of a physical challenge for myself, just to kind of kickstart my training. It's kind of one of those things you got to do, like if you are if you're alone or if you're an instructor, or if you're looking for unique ways to kind of challenge yourself. Um, yes, most definitely, Mujin, you are speaking my language. Yes, uh, give me contact me via email. Send me a message, and we can talk about the particulars of that. But yeah, man, we want to get people forming study groups, and we will help you guys help to facilitate that in any way possible. So yeah, contact me please, and let's get that going. Like I'm down for that, big time. Um, yeah. So I'm doing these things to kind of help give my, kind of jumpstart myself physically. Like the 2018, 19, there were some, on a personal level, there were some really rough years for me. Um, and as a result, like my training has suffered, my physicality, my physical, my not my physicality, but like my physical conditioning and stuff has suffered because of that. So I'm really trying to in 2020 uh, kind of counter those things. So these are like fun, engaging things for me to do to kind of help me to get past that. So yeah, so I'll be doing the 100 day. Yeah, man, we need to talk. We need to talk because I'm actually connected with a with the maker movement here in Austin, Texas, and we can brainstorm on how to kind of like merge those two things and where you're at. But just like yeah, hit me up. My email address is austinwarriorarts@gmail.com. Send me an email and we can talk and hash it out. But yeah, I would love to help facilitate that. Um, yeah. So I got the 100 days. I'm doing 100 kicks a day. Um, to again, like I said, get myself back into shape, and then I'm doing the 100 days strikes on the pail just to kind of again get myself uh, keep myself sharp, and yeah, man, that's just what it is. Trying to balance life, family with passion and work and all that kind of stuff. So that's what's going on. Um, if you're on, chime in, tell me something, tell me where you're from. Like, if you are a martial artist, if you train HAMA, FMA, traditional martial arts, MMA, Kali Silat, tell me something about yourself. You're here, you're listening to me, just chime in. I'm so and so, I'm from wherever, or this is what I do. Um, Love to hear from you guys if you're inclined. Um, Again, like I don't want to make this video too long, but I do want to again do more things to engage with you guys who have been supporting me over the years. So, yep. Anywho, yep. Well, it's pretty quiet. If you guys got any questions for me while I'm on right now, go ahead and shoot them at me. So if you can't if you don't have anything to add as far as like shouting out your town and your city, your state. If you got a question about HAMA, about African martial arts or African history, we'll do my best to answer that for you right now. If not, then I'll sign off, and then you guys just catch me on the next videos. Like I said, I'll be doing these videos like every day. Something will come. One caveat to my challenge, though, just so that it's it's feasible. Here we go. Sorry, got something. Sorry, that went by fast. Alex, Alex, how's it going, Alex? Good to see you on this forum again. And Samujin said, so you're Haitian descent on your father's side, never knew the side. Fascination with source media. Do you think there's some form of genetic memories? Um, I tend to think so. Or at least like the sci-fi fantasy head in me likes to think that there's some kind of uh, genetic connection to that. It could also be like a cultural thing too. You grow up in a culture, and there's certain aspects of it that kind of speak to you um, from speak to you in I don't know, I won't say organic, but there's certain aspects of culture that speak to you um, that could be also influencing your interest in your like. It's hard to say, but I say that if it, I do tend to believe that there's some kind of genetic, a genetic race memory or whatever else. But it's one of those things you can't really prove one way or the other. But the important thing is that if whatever it is that's kind of influence you to want to like learn and study this, is it giving you enough fuel to go and pursue it? And if it's doing that, if it's benefiting you and other people, then that's great. Okay, peace, Mujahid. Mompe Mom. I'm having trouble with your last name, brother, but let's see. Yeah. So it says I see levels of 52 blocks in b-boy culture, even how rappers. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely, like 52 is like one of those things. It's like you feel it. At least for myself, I feel it culturally. Like I feel like it's a really I train it, and I train it apart from it being like an effective fighting art, but I train it for like the cultural reason. It's like the connection. Like I feel like you were just saying, I feel that connection with it and with hip hop, and then even like older pugilist forms. It is. I feel really connected and happy when I do it. Mujahid, you train MMA, brother. Where are you hailing from? Are you in the States? Or are you in North Africa? Or shout out your gym. New England. Okay. All right. All right. I was out in Boston. Well, really, technically, I flew into Boston, but I was in Danvers a few months ago. So, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well, respect, brother. What's the name? Okay, got you. Nice. Well, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Mujin. So my technical influences of 52. It comes mostly from light Burley. But I really look and absorb, from a lot of people, and then a lot of it's from myself as well. So yeah, but light's one of the guys that's kind of like he has a really good, strong, and other brothers too. Not to take away from that, but hold on, let me shout out Kingdom of Kemet, peace, brother. Thank you for being in here. Um, but light has a really strong work ethic, and like I said, I look at everybody, just to, it's kind of like for me, I see something and I pick it up and I play around with it and I try to integrate it into what I'm doing. Um, but yeah, I like the way Light puts together material and the emphasis on boxing, because boxing is like one of those critical arts. Yeah, brother, Kingdom of Kemet, brother, like reach out to me, send me an email at austinwarriorarts@gmail.com, and we can talk about how we can do some distance learning training and get you going. Where are you at? Which part of the states are you at? I'm assuming you're in the states. Yeah. So Tariq Nasheed. Oh, you're in Houston. Okay, man. We're neighbors, bro. So hit me hit me up hit me up by email. Okay, Mujin, you're in Tampa. Okay, Florida. All right. Okay, yeah, brothers, y'all hit me up on with the email and we can talk. We can connect about forming some stuff. Again, it's Austin Warrior Arts at gmail.com. Yeah, man, all those brothers that were named are really good. Not taken away from any of them. There's a lot of really good brothers, and even like, because like I said, I like connecting with the art on a cultural level, on a movement level. Um, and so there's some guys that are like Light's really technical and he's really application focused. He still has that flow and that flavor, but he's definitely, because when he was coming out, a lot of guys were coming at him from like the MMA world, from the martial arts world, saying that you know, kind of questioning the validity of 52. So, he's definitely put in a lot of work to show that it's a valuable tool in conjunction with boxing and in conjunction with other stuff. So I like that approach because that's usually what people I guess the first stumbling block you come across when people talk about it. But I also like the brothers that just got that, they have that flow, that street flow, and it's beautiful to like watch, and it reminds me so much of what I saw as a kid, You know, it just shows me how like like the culture of slap boxing, and I'm sure plenty of other communities slap box, but like in the black community, slap boxing is such a common occurrence, and it's like it's amazing to see that like that slap boxing it's let's see. Okay, cool. Sorry, I'm catching up with everything, brother. I'm sorry. I missed that text. Next thing, I'll be able to read it a little fast. I'm sorry. um, I forgot my point. Jeez, I'm talking for a long time. Yeah, I think what I was getting at is like, yeah, slap boxing is one of those things that's pretty prominent in the black community. There we go. Um, but it's mind blowing to think that like the ritual of slap boxing was practiced in Central Africa, and it was actually like it was a ritual that was practiced by young men in the initiate phase of the Ngolo dance, which was a precursor for capoeira and some of these other like Afro-diasporic like kickboxing, kick fighting style fighting arts. So it's amazing to see that our youth still retain the desire, the need to like do this to practice this. So that's pretty amazing. And like 52 like flourished in that kind of in that environment. So like I said, I connect with the art on a cultural movement level, and apart from the application, which I really enjoy that. But just shout out to all the brothers that are holding down their own like regional style of pugilism. Thank you, Mr. Eddie. Eddie, where are you coming from, brother? Like, are you in the United States? Are you abroad? Or, yeah, shout us out. Thank you for. I'm glad that you're here. Appreciate you being here. Um, Sorry, waving at my daughter there. Oh, okay, Winnipeg. Hey, I actually might be headed your way at some point this year. Um, Jay Moss is having a saber, a military saber and broadsword symposium, and I should be there doing Ethiopian shotel. So, like, if you're around, if you're able to come to the event, come on out, man. It'd be great to meet you in person. Yeah, yeah. So I'm hoping to be able to make it out to that. So, yeah. Anyways, well, man, I appreciate you guys kind of tuning in. I'm going to go ahead and cap the video. Let's see. Have you heard of Michael Jai White? Yes, I think he'd be good to endorse your vision of bringing awareness. Yeah, yeah. We so I do fight choreography as well, and we reaching out to Michael Jai White. Um, Hold that, Eddie, and I'll tell you in just a moment. Um, what's going on, Xavier? Um, Sorry, I'm an old man. Yeah, so we've talked about reaching out to Michael Jai White in order to kind of do some work with him and kind of just build that connection. Eddie, concerning tahtib, the tahtib that I do, I wouldn't really categorize it as tahtib, although there's elements of it in a sense. I've tried with my research of Egyptian stick fighting to step away from that, just because it is how should I say, like I wanted to come to the iconography like with kind of a clear, like unbiased eyes as much as I can. So when I'm looking at like long stick work or the two-handed stick work, I'm it's hard to say that it's not, that Tatib isn't an influence of it, because obviously it is. I mean, there's only a few ways that you could, only a certain ways that you can kind of maneuver our bodies with a weapon in space and time. But at the same time, I am trying my best to like see what was there. Um, like I said, with as clear as vision as I can, and not saying that Tatib isn't part of that story. It's like with anything. Um, you have a civilization as old as Egypt. Cultural influences from all over the place are coming in. So I tend to think of Tahtib more along the lines of like later, like medieval style of stick play. Still very, very useful and very, very helpful in understanding like what was done in ancient Egypt. But again, like I'm trying to like go off the beaten path in order to see like if my end results are similar. And so far, like there are a lot of similar principles that I've found. So I don't have any formal tahtib training. One of our council members, Adam, he's uh, spent a lot of time training with the modern tahtib group. So he's definitely more in the know of that. Like my long stick work mostly comes from like Mathrag. They have a version of Mathrag called Wakaf. The Wakaf is like the heavier two-handed stick that you would use. So I tend to like that flow, that a little bit more. But I've been also been let me see here. Um, Then I've also been experimenting with some house and stick fighting, which I really really appreciate, especially because it's very spear like in its use. So it's and then donga is I think an overlooked um, ancestor, or I don't want to say ancestor, but maybe a cultural analog, if that's a word. Like Donga can tell us a lot as well about what Egyptian two-handed stick would have looked like, and then there's a lot of similarities between it and Tahtib, and there's lots of differences as well. Of course, it has to do with the purpose of the purpose of the fight. I do not know which tribe I come from. I did a DNA test with National Geographic. It wasn't really good, but the results wasn't really to tell me my tribe, but to tell me like my haplo group and like which parts of Africa you would find them. And it was pretty much, it was scattered like all over the place. So it was like it was common in like in what was it? It was like Nigeria, Mauritania. Then it was like the Canary Islands, and then like Egypt, and then like South. It was like all over the place. So it's like I don't really know. I'm considering doing that, doing taking one of the another one to get like a clearer understanding of where it is I come from. My heart has always been kind of connected to the Sahel. I don't know for certain if that's where I come from. You know, I've been told that I look Fulani and Yoruba or whatnot. Yeah, I'll check out ancestry. Yeah, yeah. Most of us are coming from that area. I mean, uh, Nigeria and Central Africa too is another place that gets kind of overlooked. But there's a large amount of us coming out of Central Africa as well. So yeah, I don't know for certain, but hopefully when I get a little extra money, I will do some extra research on that. Boom, boom. Okay, okay, okay. Chinese. Nice. Do you do any stick fighting? Any Sosa stick fighting? And sorry for mispronouncing that, brother. You ever do any of the stick play out there? Yeah, yeah. So, anyways, kind of regaining my train of thought. Not really. Okay, fair enough. Um, I guess if you ever get a chance to, man, it'd be worth like looking into delving into that. Don't shave the dreads. Do what you want with the beard. Trust me, Sean. The beard the beard is actually like, if the beard goes, that's a bad day, man. It's like it's not good. It does not look good. Um, I'm gonna do my 100 videos, man. So I don't have to worry about cutting my hair at all. I'm gonna do my videos. That's my point. Do my videos, and everything will be good. 100 videos. That should be easy to do. Just be consistent. Cool. How do you feel Nigerians are taking over anime? I mean, I think that it's good that that Nigerians are like finding a place in anime and creating an image and leaving a mark in that genre, because for the longest, I mean, it's there's been like this mystification of like the foreigners in anime, and white people. I mean, and nothing against. I have lots of white friends, and that's typically what a person says when they say something that's going to be ignorant. But this is not coming from a place of ignorance. This is coming from a place of representation, and I think that it's good that we don't have characters that look like us in these forms of media. So like, why support them? Like, you know, why not create your own space within this? You know what I'm saying? That's like, I think that's a good thing. I mean, it's evolution, it's growth. It's like creating it's elevating your elevating your understanding. And it's really it's it's all that. When I was a kid, like, I would have loved to have seen, you know that there was like black black anime characters, or you know so forth and so on. um so I think that I applaud them for doing that. We need to do more of that, like, as Africans on this side of the Atlantic. Like, we need to follow suit, and make our presence known as well, and tell our own stories. And I was just thinking about that today. Mujahideen. I think the oldest. That's a hard one. I think, like, on the continent, like, wrestling and stick fighting are like the most universal, and I would say they would probably be like the oldest forms of combat. If you think about the stick being our earliest tool, and wrestling being, like, no matter which part of the continent you're on, there's some form of wrestling. It doesn't matter which part of the globe you're on. There's some type of wrestling. So stick fighting and wrestling, I think, would probably be like the earliest forms of martial arts, I think. But yeah, so yeah, Nigerians are putting in that work, and you're seeing results of it. Crow Whisper. Where do I see Hama in 10 years from now? Um, Hopefully, I love to see, like, more groups of active practitioners. I love to see more people doing field research, either going to the continent to study there, or bringing members from the community to America, Europe, or wherever else, to share that information. I love to see more of what we're doing represented in media. So hopefully that there'll be like films displaying, like, African martial arts, or comic book characters, and whatever else, like, showing, like, showing us doing stuff. I would like for Hama to be instrumental in making it happening, making that happen. I'd like for us to do, like, consulting work in order to, you know, help with fight choreography for movies and things like that. At the same time, like, like to see more written and academic work on, not just on African history, but like on African military history and on military traditions, because it's like one of those things that is extremely overlooked. And I think that by as lay researchers showing an interest in this field, it may help to people, for it may help to spark or to show academia that this is a valid area of interest that we would love to know more about. Um, I would like to see us be able to do that kind of stuff, to be able to connect with academia who are doing stuff like this already, or similar stuff, but like putting these two things together. So more interaction with academia, in order to, like, draw more conclusive a better picture of like what that looked like. For example, we see like we see the terracotta, the well, yeah, some of them are made in terracotta, and the bronzes, like the Benin bronzes, and it's like you see all these intricate costumings that look like armor that the Benin warriors were wearing. Well, I mean, it would be great. It's like we're thinking about like, well, what is that material? What material is it made out of? It would be great for us to coordinate with people who are doing field research. Maybe they're studying art and representation in the Kingdom of Benin. Connecting with them to be able to like, oh, well, this material could possibly be made from this or that. Like we get to that point where we can really start reconstructing and breathing life into some of these images and some of these ideas. So that's what I would like for HAMA to be at 10 years from now. I like for us to be having like a shitload of gatherings, tournaments. Um, I want us to be, like I said, the first step is getting active practitioners, like people who are actively like researching and building, um, so that we can connect and so that we can start like meeting up with each other. To answer Xavier's question real quick about the Black Panther fight, I do have a breakdown of it that I've been working on. I know it's like a year and some change overdue, but I'm gonna polish that off and ideally what I want to do is talk about like what they were trying to represent and what they could have used to fill in those gaps, and then do like a theoretical like reshoot. I pronounce anime wrong. How do you pronounce anime then? Anime or anime? Anime, anime. I used to live in Okinawa, so you're embarrassing me now right now. Okay, so Xavier, you owe me a correction of pronunciation. So either anime or anime, probably anime. Train Chadwick for it. Can give you details as to why. Yeah, yeah. So you train. So Mujin, you train with Maurice. I'm assuming. I didn't catch that the first time I saw you listed your teacher. I thought you was like my teacher, and you were listing Maurice Crump. But I'm assuming that you train with Maurice. Oh, man. We need to get in the room together, brother. So like, tell me how me and Maurice can sit down and talk. Cause I would love to build with that brother on many things. But yeah, and again, what I'm saying about the fight choreography is not like a slight to anyone. We're working with the material that we have, and directors and producers are not really in the know on a lot of things. So you know, you know, as long as we're elevating in there, we're growing. That's the important thing. So, like I said, no insult to. Yeah, I know he's busy, man. I see him. I mean, we're connected on Facebook, but I haven't had a chance to actually like talk with him. But yeah, I would love to next time I'm in Atlanta, which I'm going to be coming to Atlanta for Balagoon's Warrior Con. So maybe that'll be a chance for me to meet up with him and talk or whatnot. But yeah. Anyways, like I said, not taking away from anyone's abilities as a fight choreographer. It's just he's very busy. Have you said ninjutsu? I have a. I pronounce MMA wrong. What? Tell me how I pronounce MMA wrong. MMA. Man, I don't know. You got me on that one. Tell me how I need to pronounce that. Even sorry, I'm reading right now. Um, yeah, Crow Whisperer, and I'm sorry guys, I'm bouncing quite a bit. Crow Whisperer, we're we even the very preliminary. I think that the idea of Hama, the idea of African martial arts, is is mind blowing. You know what I'm saying? Like the like I don't think I don't think that people I don't think people are aware of the existence of African martial arts, and then let alone like the existence of African martial arts in the way that we're talking about. Because like so it's like you'll accept like, okay, well, I see Senegalese wrestling and I see like Nguni stick fighting. It's like, okay, yeah. It kind of fits into like what we think we know about the continent. But when you start talking about like swords and like chainmail armor and like stuff like that, I meant to say you pronounce MMA differently. You said anime instead of. Got you. Okay. Thank you. But yeah, so I think that to that extent, that people are just not aware that that kind of stuff existed. So it really blows people's mind when you're like, what? They use swords in Africa? Like that's radical. So I think that's probably the reason why HAMA hasn't reached this point. HEMA, and HEMA was here. I mean, we're like only as an organization, and we're not the only people that are doing historical and cultural African martial arts, but as an organization, I mean, we're less than officially less than 5 years old. And I think that we've been able to impact the world in a way that's larger than HEMA has been able to in this amount of time. So I think like in 10 years, we will be at the place where HEMA is probably now. It's going to take us more time. It's really going to take more people. Um, think about his decision to strengthen his troops by forcing them to describe his handles. Wow, man, that's a good question. Um, I mean, I think that for Shaka, and I'm getting off subject here. Sorry. I think for Shaka, the idea of creating the ultimate light infantry that can function like cavalry is what he was envisioning. So like mobility, tenacity, the ability to to travel lightly, move fast, and be able to like live off the land. Like I think that was like the what he envisioned as far as like the the ultimate. And if you think about it, that's pretty amazing for like a light infantry force to be able to move in that way. Um, but I mean, it, there's questions of whether or not the reforms were totally his idea or if it was initiated by the king that he was receiving protection from before. And it's not my strong area, so I don't really know for certain. But from being on the side and listening to some theories, um, I mean, my thoughts are that like, yeah, he wanted to create a force that was lightning quick, self sufficient, um, and for all intents and purposes, he whether he started the idea or whether he like refined it, like he evolved it to like an efficient machine. Um, but again, like I said, it's not my area of my strong area, but it is definitely like one of those. It's an interesting period in time that we could use like more conversation about, because when we talk about it, we talk about it that these were his reforms, but we don't really talk about like um, what sources we are citing or getting to tell us that these were his reforms. And myself, like I would like to know like, well, which accounts, like who's giving us the accounts that this is what he was doing and why he was doing it, and that would be interesting. Like I said, it's not my area, so I don't really know, but that would be a really good point of discussion. Um, Sorry that the yeah, okay, so I kind of missed some of that. I got it, but then I didn't get it. So sorry, flowing in this. So long short answer, shorter answer sooner. Yeah, I think that as an organization we're in a good place, and that we will reach that point. We'll reach that point where we are where HEMA is. It's just going to take us time, and it took HEMA time to to get to that point. I mean, think about them. Like, I think they've been existing. Grade their own armed forces. Um, Sorry, reading and then trying to finish my thought. It's live video. I still need to practice doing this, especially when you guys are engaging, which I really appreciate. Um, Boy, where's I at? Yeah. Anyways, I think that we will be at the point where HEMA is soon at some point, sooner than later. And I mean, if you look at it, it took HEMA HEMA went through a period of time where they had to distinguish themselves from like, hey, these were LARPing or you know doing medieval times or whatever to like be taken as like a serious, you know, academic study and it's gotten to the point to where it's at through a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication. It's taken, from my understanding, at least like 2 to 3 decades to get to that point, So we're not even a decade old, so and we're already kind of on the world stage with them. So we I think we'll get to that point sooner. We'll get to that a comparable point sooner because of and a part of that is because they've already kind of gone ahead and created this platform. Because I get invited to a lot of HEMA events to share what I'm doing, and I wouldn't be able to have that platform without a lot of people from HEMA like actually endorsing my work and actually showing interest in my work. So they're that kind of flow and energy is helping to pull us forward. It's not the only thing, but it is definitely like a helpful thing. So we'll get there, and the best way to get there is like for people to start training. Do you believe we should have African towns in America? Um, what do you mean by African towns? Like cities or towns that are like uh, built like traditional villages of certain cultures. I mean, yeah. Why not? That would be cool to see. That would be cool to experience that. Like I mean, if you were to and actually I think in Austin or outside of Austin, there was a small little village retreat that was built based off of a Senegalese style village. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's like if you want to experience history and culture, and if you can't travel across the waters, like yeah, you can build certain aspects of it here. Um, you know, it's. I mean, I believe in like tactile, hands-on like learning. So like, yeah, it would be great to like you go somewhere and you can see like you know the compound round compound style houses. That would be pretty cool. Like that's it's pretty interesting um, idea. So yeah, it would be nice to see that. Uh, it would be great to have it too. Like if you were shooting like films that were like historical based period pieces, it'd be great to have like I'm gonna read that one more time. Um, it would be nice to have a place where you can go and shoot like stuff that's period appropriate, cultural appropriate, for films, and that we may have to do that kind of stuff if we want to make films that are set on the continent. Like it may be too expensive. Like I have some epics that I have some period pieces that I want to do like shorts. It would be great to be able to go somewhere and have a place that has that feel. So yeah, it would be awesome. Um, I'll wait to the next to see thoughts on. Um, yeah, man, I try to like as far as like the hotep stuff. Like we all have different opinions, and I try to respect people. Um, I don't I don't. I mean, I think that ultimately, as people people of African descent, I believe that you know we have everything that we need to elevate ourselves. And saying that doesn't mean that it's easy and that it's not full of like challenges and obstacles that come from a system and come from people and come from our own like demons or whatever else. And I'm always wanting to focus on that as opposed to giving circumstances uh, too much power in my own elevation. Even though, like, I know that there's obstacles that we have to face. So I don't get into all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? I try to steer clear of that. And some people have very strong opinions, and that's okay. That works for them, and it's just not where I'm coming from. Like, I come from a place of inclusion, at the same time as in a place for empowerment. So it's room for everyone, but I definitely would like for people of African descent to like have a place in this and stuff. And it's like it's not like you can't do this because you're white or you're whatever else. Like my group is pretty diverse, and although I have like a large amount of people of color in my group, you're open to it's open to people as long as there's respect. Um, that's the main thing. Is respect is important. I didn't notice the Dembe boxing in Black Panther. Was it? Tell me the scene, and I'll go back and check it out. Um, True indeed. Yeah. There is going to be a second HAMA gathering. It's going to be in Philly. I don't have the dates. Actually, I lied. I think the dates are going to be like it's my birthday weekend, so it's going to be like the weekend that June 18th, maybe June 17th through the 21st, I believe. Don't quote me on it, but I'll have to do like an official post once we actually get at some point. So it's one where they threw body punches and hooks during Baku. Okay, I'll go back and check that out. That would be good for me to follow up on that. So like what I'll do is I'll make a goal for one of my big videos to do the Black Panther, especially before the second Black Panther comes out. To do that review and discussion about the fight choreography, and I really focused on the Killmonger and T'Challa fight in it. So I don't remember the M'Baku. I have to go back and look at that. But what I'll do is I'll place the goal of getting that one done first, and then once I do that, then I'll go back and do some of the other fights, and then see what this new Black Panther holds for us. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you guys being engaging and keeping me on here. Yeah, no, I remember the I saw the capoeira. Like there was lots of capoeira in it. Um, what I contemplated on doing is like kind of creating like a generic a generic fight for like empty hands, unarmed combat, for like an African character. And like what I would have done is like I would have drawn from capoeira, yes. I would have also tried to draw from a lot of the wrestling and from the some of the other like boxing forms that are found on the continent, which would have been really interesting to kind of add into the mix. And then like when dealing with a character like T'Challa, because of course he's well versed in his like indigenous martial arts, but he's also a well studied, well traveled martial artist. Hey, Ghost, you missed a 50-minute discussion here. But he is also a well traveled martial artist, so he's trained in other things as well. So it's talking about how we should have towns that cater, building. Oh, uh, yes to that. That would be pretty cool. Again, um, bringing that kind of culture, that kind of spirituality into our existence here, I think would be very helpful. And we've done it in some ways. Um, but yeah, like I mean, that would be that would be enriching for not just for the yes, Crow Whisper, that would be really cool. Um, sorry, yeah. So it would be cool to see more of our ancestral ways of building and constructing and construing like art in our everyday life. I think that there's nothing but benefits that could come from that, even as like just for Americans of just for Americans in general to see um, the beauty in other structures and other forms is enriching. Is it's like we think of houses as like these boxes that are contained, but like I said, I really love the idea of these like rooms that are connected by a courtyard, and you have this openness of the center in some of the African style homes. I don't know enough about African architecture to speak with of any what is the word with any not confidence but for certainty of it, but uh, the idea of fractal building, I mean that's all really I think on a spiritual emotional level would be very healing to like see some of that stuff. Like, I get tired of seeing the same types of structures, and it's good to see something that's different, you know. There's yeah, I think there's nothing but benefits that could come from that. The problem is like having access to like resources to do that is the thing, like you know, and then like land and stuff to be able to do it. But yeah, it would be awesome to be able to actually see that, you know, brought to life. So I think I missed another comment prior at some point, but let me see. Oh, so fast. Sorry, so fast. Ah ha ha. Yeah. Ghost, have you've seen American houses? They're like little boxes. You're in France, so like you have access to a lot of different and in some parts of America it is you see different you see different styles of you see different cultures that are impacting the architecture, and it always makes for like you know like art makes us stop and think and kind of ponder our place in the universe, and like anything that does that, like I said, is great. And if the fact that it's something that is coming from people that's coming from like uh, you know African ideologies and cosmology, then it's like yeah, that brings in a lot of positive energy, because you know when we think again, we're challenging our understanding of a very large, very vast continent. And it's like you know when we think about African warriors, we think in the terms of Zulus, and there's nothing wrong with Zulu warriors, light infantry armed with shields and spears, you know, but we don't think about the heavy cavalry of the Hausa. We don't think about the Bornu. We don't think about these other areas that are more, you know, that fought with, you know, in with different material. Uh, Same thing with architecture. We think African architecture, and I'm saying we in a broad sense. For those of us that are in a know that we know, but we as like Westerners and people of ignorant of African and ignorant of the world around us, we tend to think of like African architecture as being primitive, like as just like being huts. But then when you look at what they built and why they built with the material they built with and what they were able to create, um, you know, yeah, it's pretty amazing. So like having something like that here would be beneficial to the people living here and not just people of African descent. Um, Ouroboros, yeah, I think movement is let's see. Let's see. I'm reading as I'm scrolling, reading and trying to. Yeah, Ouroboros. I agree that. I mean, when it comes down to it, we will have different flavoring, but like I think our underlining principles will be the same because Filipino arts have and not just the European arts as well. They have uh, attacks mapped along lines, and it's like it doesn't matter like which system you train, like where you come from, like your attack has to come through one of these lines. It has to take one of these paths towards you, and it's like that's universal. Like, and I have to deal with those paths, and I can deal with them either by raising my shield, or I can use my weapon or a sword or whatever to do that. I can displace it. I can void it. I could run like hell. I could not be close to you. Like it's like I have to deal with those angles in the same way. So it's like yeah, there is a human efficiency um, when it comes down to movement, and there are also things that are like cultural. Like there are you know cultural movements that don't really have anything to do with the efficiency of the movement, but they are like our cultural aesthetics that play into what we think is strong, powerful, elegant, skillful, and you find all that. Those are I think those are where you find the differences between the arts. It's not like in the angles. It's in that flavoring. All right. Yeah, I think Ghost Warrior. I'll call you Ghost Warrior from that old movie, Ghost Hero. True, that is a truth. Like I think that again, going back to those of us that are ignorant about Africa as a whole, as a Africa period, we tend to think about it as like this one massive like landmass, which it is, but we don't really see how diverse these like regions are, and we don't understand that because we don't really have an understanding of the continent. And I think that you know I think it's okay to start off with seeing like okay, there are these um, there are these commonalities that you find, which are in a sense they're oversimplifications. There are some commonalities. There are these commonalities that you find, and I think that would. Thank you, Xavier, for chiming in, man. Appreciate it. I'm gonna leave here in just a moment too, but I think that everything starts with this small seed, and hopefully the idea is that we can change our general idea about what Africa is as a whole, and then as we do that, we can start. Um, uh, I don't know. I warm a thing before I go. I'm never a high school guy. Whatever guy. We're joking. I'm probably not gonna spell this right. Sorry. Reading and trying to talk. But yeah, so the idea is that if we can cultivate a general interest and change our idea about the continent as a whole, and then like the next step will be like, oh yes, like then you can like delve into like these variations. But unfortunately, this is kind of where we're at right now, so we have to work from there. But yeah, like Africa is a diverse continent. Um, when you consider like a place like Ethiopia with 80 something different ethnic groups and 100 different languages, like as like an American, like for one country to have that kind of diversity, like we have like no idea. No, I know it wasn't directed at me. I'm just kind of speaking to it, to to why where I think that we're at, and kind of what's it's going to take for us to get to that point, and then kind of marveling at that. Yeah, it's like yeah, there is this like this vastness that we just that escapes us. So yeah, Anyways, so I asked my cue to go. I've been on. You guys held me on here for an hour. Thank y'all for engaging me and for asking questions and just like listening to me rant and all that kind of stuff. I'm about to go. God just appreciate it. Yeah, so basically, just a quick. I'm gonna say it real fast, and then I'm gonna go. Sorry, thank you for being here. Please slap a like on this video. But basically, this is kind of me engaging with my community in a fun way. I'm setting a goal for myself to shoot 100 videos for a video a day for 100 days. Um, the payoff is that at the end of it, I'll have more content out, and I'll have at some point better and more refined content. Um, Take care, Xavier. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Um, at the same time, if I don't do that, I'm going to shave my hair on my head and my hair on my face. That's the consequence. Those are the consequences. So yeah. Anyways, thank you all again for tuning in, and like I said, look out for those videos. I know ultimatums aren't good, but they're fun. We're having fun. This is all in good fun. Take care, Eddie. Contact me about what we spoke about. Also, Mujin, thank you, brother. Take care. Reach out to me, please, and we'll work that out. Yes, ultimatums are not good, but yeah, we got this. All right, guys. I'm gonna sign out. I'm gonna figure out how to sign out on this thing, and I'll be in touch. Hold me accountable, guys. If you don't see any videos coming down the stream, like shoot me a message to say, "Hey, man, you're slipping. Cut the hair." All right, y'all take care. Peace. And then here's the awkward part of me trying to figure out, does a little X in the corner, does that end everything? I don't know. Let's see. Let's see. Figuring it out. I'm going to hit this X. We'll see what happens to it. Okay, I'm stopping streaming now.